Hello friends, for opening Demat account, please make use of the link available in description. Totally we have prepared 10 videos in the fundamental analysis series. This is the 5th video. Watch all these 10 videos one by one so that you can easily understand the concept. Definitely these 10 videos will help you for doing fundamental analysis. Remaining videos link are in description. In this video, we are going to see about 5th parameter and 6th parameter which we are using in company analysis. 5th parameter is return on capital employed. Next, 6th parameter is inventory turnover ratio. Before going into the topic, let us see one small example. Let me assume two companies, company A and company B. These two companies are same type of companies. That is, for example, these two companies are biscuit producing companies like that, let me assume. For starting the business, both company A and company B promoters had invested same investment amount like that, let me assume. For example, they had invested each 1000 rupees to start their companies. That means both of their companies' share capital value is 1000 rupees. Let me assume, for starting the business, company A promoter had 1000 rupees with him. So, with that 1000 rupees, he had started the company A. Here, company A promoter not taken any loan from the bank. But, company B promoter had only 800 rupees in his hand. So, he had taken additionally 200 rupees loan from the bank. With total 1000 rupees, he had started the company B. Next, let me assume that in this financial year, both company A and company B had done equal sales like that. For example, both company A and company B had done the sales of 100 rupees like that, let me assume. That means both the companies' revenue is 100 rupees. Both company A and company B had done equal investment, so that both the companies' buildings, machineries, equipments, all these non-current assets value will be same. So both the companies' depreciation and amortization value also will be same. For example, let me assume that company A and company B's depreciation and amortization value was 10 rupees. Next, I am going to deduct operating expense. In this place, let me assume that company B's operating expense is lesser than the company A's operating expense. For example, let me assume company A operating expense as 40 rupees and company B's operating expense as 30 rupees. Operating expense and depreciation and amortization. These both expenses are considered as total expense of a company. From the revenue, if I deduct total expenses, then balance amount is called as EBIT, that is earnings before interest and tax. First, in company A, revenue 100 rupees minus depreciation and amortization 10 rupees minus operating expense 40 rupees. Balance I will get 50 rupees. This 50 rupees is the EBIT of company A. Similarly, in company B, revenue 100 rupees minus depreciation and amortization 10 rupees minus operating expense 30 rupees. Balance I will get 60 rupees. This 60 rupees is the EBIT of company B. Next, from EBIT, I has to deduct interest amount. Company A had not taken any loan from the bank. So, for company A, I had mentioned interest as 0. Company B had taken 200 rupees loan from the bank. Let me assume that company B had taken loan for 10% interest rate. Then for 200 rupees, 10% interest means I will get 20 rupees. That is, company B has to pay 20 rupees interest amount. From EBIT, if I deduct the interest amount, I will get earnings before tax or profit before tax. Company A is a debt-free company, so they no need to pay any interest amount to the bank. So that profit before tax for company A will be the same 50 rupees. Next, company B has to pay 20 rupees interest amount to the bank. Then from 60 rupees, if I deduct 20 rupees means balance I will get 40 rupees. That is, profit before tax for company B will be 40 rupees. Next, we have to calculate the tax amount for the companies. Company tax is 30%. Profit before tax for company A is 50 rupees. So, for 50 rupees, 30% tax means 15 rupees I will get. That is, company A has to pay tax 15 rupees. Similarly, profit before tax for company B is 40 rupees. So, for 40 rupees, 30% tax means 12 rupees I will get. That is, company B has to pay tax 12 rupees. If I deduct the tax amount from profit before tax, then I will get profit after tax. This is the real income of a company. Profit before tax for company A is 50 rupees. If I deduct tax 15 rupees, balance I will get 35 rupees. That is, profit after tax for company A is 35 rupees. Similarly, profit before tax for company B is 40 rupees. If I deduct tax 12 rupees, then balance I will get 28 rupees. That is, profit after tax for company B is 28 rupees. In our example, company A is earning more profit than the company B. So that blindly we should not decide that company A is the efficient company like that. That is not true. You should analyze both the companies' operation very carefully. Mostly, all the companies will show their operating efficiency in their operating expense only. That is, efficient company will try to reduce their operating expenses. In this place only, companies will show their efficiency. So that whenever you want to compare two companies which produce same product, you can use EBIT parameter. Please don't use profit after tax parameter. Using EBIT parameter only, we can easily find out which company is efficient like that. Because companies compulsorily has to pay interest amount and tax 30%. So, in this portion, company cannot show their efficiency. In our example, company A and company B had invested 1000 rupees. From that 1000 rupees, company A is able to generate the profit of rupees 50 only. But company B is able to generate the profit of rupees 60. So, from this we can easily understand that operating efficiency of company B is better than the company A. In our example, company B is operating more efficiently than the company A. So that very soon company B will settle down their loan. If they had settled their loan, then that time their interest amount will become 0. Because of that, profit before tax for company B will increase to 60 rupees. For 60 rupees, 30% tax means 18 rupees will come. That is, company B has to pay 18 rupees tax for the government. After deducting 18 rupees tax, profit after tax for company B will increase to 42 rupees. From this we can easily understand that if any company is having loan, that is not a bad sign at all. But if the loan amount is increasing year by year, then that is a bad sign. Britannia Industries Limited and ITC Limited, both the companies are biscuit producing companies. Whether I can compare the EBIT value of Britannia Industries Limited with the EBIT value of ITC Limited means, for this question answer is no. We cannot compare directly the EBIT value of one company with the another company because both the companies' investment is different. So that we cannot directly compare the EBIT value of one company with the another. For comparing the two companies' operating efficiency, instead of EBIT parameter, you can use this parameter, that is return on capital employed. Return on capital employed formula is EBIT divided by capital employed into 100. This is the formula for return on capital employed. Already we have seen the meaning for EBIT and we have seen how to calculate the EBIT value. Next, we are going to see about capital employed. What is meant by capital employed means, normally any company from which assets they are going to earn the profit for long term, that is called as capital employed. Indirectly, capital employed means investment done on the fixed assets, that is called as capital employed. How to calculate the capital employed value we will see now. In the earlier videos, we had discussed about basic accounting equation, that is total shareholders fund plus liabilities equal to assets. In this equation, if I split liabilities into two types, then the equation will be total shareholders fund plus non-current liabilities plus current liabilities equal to assets. In the accounting equation, if I add total shareholders fund plus non-current liabilities plus current liabilities, I will get the total asset value of the company. In this, we know about current liabilities. Current liabilities means how much amount a company has to spend in this current financial year. That is called as current liabilities. In current liabilities, mostly money will be spent on the operating expenses like purchase of raw materials, labor cost or electricity bill. Like this, mostly the money will be spent on the operating expenses. In accounting equation, remaining is total shareholders fund plus non-current liabilities. This value denotes the fixed asset of that company, like land, buildings, equipments. Like this, the total shareholders fund plus non-current liabilities denotes the fixed asset of that company. So that total shareholders fund plus non-current liabilities is considered as capital employed of a company. Return on capital employed formula is EBIT divided by capital employed into 100. Here, EBIT is considered as output of a company and capital employed is considered as investment of a company. So, this parameter denotes how much a company is efficiently generating profit from their business. In Money Control website also, we can get return on capital employed data directly. But now, I had opened one more website, screener.in. In this website also, we can get the return on capital employed data directly. In screener.in website, in the top you can find the search bar. In that, I had entered Britannia and given search. Like this, all the data will be available about Britannia Industries Limited. Like Money Control website, all the data will be available. Now, I am scrolling down. If you scroll down, you can see a table like this. You can collect some of the important data from this table. You can design this table as per your choice. If return on capital employed data is not available means, then you can use this edit column link and you can redesign this table. In my point of view, one company's return on capital employed should be at least 15%. If return on capital employed is less than 15% means, then we can consider that as negative sign. In this column, they have mentioned the return on capital employed of Britannia Industries Limited. Return on capital employed of Britannia Industries Limited is 37.45%. For Britannia Industries Limited, this parameter is positive sign because return on capital employed is more than 15%. Next, I had opened the data of ITC Limited. Return on capital employed of ITC Limited is 34.62%. This parameter for ITC Limited is positive sign because return on capital employed is more than 15%. Return on capital employed of ITC Limited is 34.62%. What is the meaning for this means? Capital investment of ITC Limited is 100 rupees. From that 100 rupees, ITC Limited had generated 34.62 rupees profit in this year. That is the meaning. Next, we are going to see the sixth parameter, that is inventory turnover ratio. In any production company, first they will purchase the raw materials, next they convert the raw materials into finished product, and finally they will sell the finished product. This is a cycle of any production company. How many times this cycle happens in one financial year? That is called as inventory turnover ratio. For example, let me assume one supermarket. In that supermarket, first owner will fill the product and next he will sell that product to the customers. Again he will refill the product and again he will sell that product. How much times this cycle happens in one financial year? That is called as inventory turnover ratio. For example, in ITC Limited, inventory turnover ratio is 10 means, then in ITC Limited, manufacturing and sales, this cycle had happened 10 times in this financial year. That is the meaning. How to analyze the inventory turnover ratio we will see now. In any company, if inventory turnover ratio value is increasing year by year means, then we can consider that as positive sign. If the inventory turnover ratio value is decreasing year by year means, then that is considered as a negative sign. If the inventory turnover ratio value is constant means, then it is acceptable. In Money Control website, I had entered Maruti Suzuki and given search. Like this, Maruti Suzuki data will open. In the top, if you click the link financial, then below that many link will open. In that, click the link ratios. Like this, Maruti Suzuki's very important financial ratios we can get it from this table. Here you can collect many ratios like current ratio, return on capital employed. Like this, many parameters also directly we can get it from this table. Below that, you can get the inventory turnover ratio of Maruti Suzuki. In the year 2019, inventory turnover ratio is 25.87. But in the year 2020, inventory turnover ratio is reduced to 23.52. But before the year 2019, inventory turnover ratio is averagely constant. In India, last 2 years GDP is very low. Because of that, almost all the automobile company shares are very down only. So that only Maruti Suzuki inventory turnover ratio had reduced in the year 2020. But in this worst situation also, Maruti Suzuki is able to maintain their inventory turnover ratio. So we can consider this parameter as positive sign for Maruti Suzuki. Next, in Money Control website, I had opened the ratios of D-Mart. This inventory turnover ratio parameter will be more suitable for FMCG companies, supermarket, manufacturing companies. For these type of companies only, inventory turnover ratio parameter will be more suitable. D-Mart inventory turnover ratio is averagely constant. So, we can consider this parameter as positive sign for this company. Suppose two companies are producing same product means, then like return on capital employed parameter, this inventory turnover ratio parameter is also a good parameter to compare that two companies. In our channel, we have prepared totally 8 videos in the concept of basics of stock market. Please watch those videos for understanding the basic terms in share market. All the videos link are in description. In this video, if you have any doubt, please make a comment, I will reply.